Back now. Okay. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, I think we'll have it now.
Okay.
We'll have our audio now. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Apologies. My mic battery ran down. Yes. So, Barrister Adams, thank you so much for joining me. Apologies for the delay.
No problem.
All right.
No, it's all right.
So, because I was setting up for a long time, so the
Yes.
battery ran down.
Yes.
So, Barrister Adams, I'd like us to react to a few things, especially the drama that played out before the floor of the Senate yesterday.
Yes.
With what happened to Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan.
That's right.
Her outburst and her subsequent reaction, stating her side of the story of how she's been facing harassment, intimidation, and sidelined before the Senate, based through the leadership of the Senate President, Akpabio. She also did say a couple of other things. She also did mention a couple of other things, how she's been removed from committee falsely, maliciously, and all those. Then we would also look at other issues, like what's playing out in Osun State, based on the election that is scheduled to hold this Saturday.
Yeah.
As Osun State is gradually going to become a theater of war, or more like
I
pray. 6 people already died.
I know.
6 people already died.
I understand.
It's a cause for worry.
Yes.
When 6 human beings had already
Absolutely,
died.
yes.
So we'd look at that, and then we'd also look at if you mind to chime in, would also look at what IBB said about the June 12 election and other issues. So let's start with the outburst of Senator Uduaghan yesterday. So on the floor of the Senate yesterday, she did say something. There was an arrangement. The only part that the video showed us was her outburst, and then where there was a point of order against her. Because of the sitting, her refusal to change seats. But then she now comes state, say, they carry her, they not just change her seat, they carry her go put for corner where it say cameras don't even capture her at all. And that, in fact, let's take a while, let's watch her react exactly to this so that we have a perspective to what's going on. And then it just also dawned on me that something like this had happened in the same floor of the Senate during Saraki's Senate. We'll look at that too, exactly.
Right.
We'll look at that.
Ordinary President, thank you so much for calling me. My attention was drawn that you were actually speaking about the issue on your program today. So thank you so much for your concern. But you know, the thing is, there are certain rules in the chambers that whatever I speak of in the Senate can't be used against me. That means I can't be sued.
But outside?
But if I make any utterances, considering the fact that I am facing a lot of harassment, I have been going through a lot, and I have remained quiet because I didn't want to be interpreted wrongly. I didn't want any lawsuits against me. I just wanted to be given a chance to work. A lot of my privileges have been denied. I have been pulled out from many international activities that I was part of. That is right after, that whole nightclub incident that happened last year.
Yes.
Ever since then, I have been issued. There was even a United Nations event I was supposed to attend, which the UN nominated me for. But my name was struck out, that they will not promote me in any activity internationally. Okay. So every event I have been going for since last year have been self-sponsored. Whenever I feel an international event is of importance to my constituents, to Nigerian women, to Nigeria, I buy my tickets myself and I fund my trips myself. I just don't speak about it. So I have been going through a lot. So yesterday was just that changing my seat was more of a chance of silencing me or alienating me from being seen. Sitting arrangements is very critical. Like when the nearer you sit, positions you closer before the camera and gives you an added advantage to be called upon to contribute to debates. But the seat I was now, ordinarily, I'm already sitting at the very back. If you see me, I'm sitting actually at the last seat just before the door. But then I was now moved suddenly without notice, without any information. my seat was moved to the far corner, a part where the cameras don't capture. Like if you sit over there, the cameras can you won't even be captured. Nobody will even, except maybe they zoom out and they get to see you there. You will just easily be missing out. You can raise your hands up and nobody will call you. So that is why I said, no, I don't want to move to that seat. I wasn't notified. You understand? This is not a classroom. You can't just push me around. And there are other senators. There are 109 of us. Why is it me? Why do I have to move there? Why me? Just 2 weeks ago, I was removed from a committee from local content. I was moved from there because some people perceived that I was using that office to divert resources from the Niger Delta to the north. And that was not it. We have the Jakarta-Kaduna-Kano pipeline, which is going to be completed by the second quarter of this year. And we need feed gas for that. And the wake of, Nigeria is now positioning itself to be more productive, industrialization is picking up. So the factories up north, like other parts of Nigeria, will need greater electricity supply. And now we have CNG cars, vehicles being converted to CNG. There will be a number of CNG stations across the north and every other part, like other parts of Nigeria. We need feed gas to service all of these spots. And it was even the president that assented to the executive order. So how does that, why picking on me? Like, basically, I'm not going to mention names specifically, but there's a whole lot going on. And all I would just say is, I appreciate Nigerians for standing up. I have been going through a lot, but I will not mention names.
It's okay.
And in due time, if it depends on how things go, in due time, I might have to come up personally to speak on everything.
Thank you very much.
I know that right now they are planning my suspension. If I'm suspended, fine. It will not stop me from doing my work wherever I can. Do you understand? I have a number of projects in line, and I will keep serving my people. I'll keep being a voice.
Thank you very much.
Do you understand?
Thank you.
And I will keep being a law-abiding citizen. So I did not speak out of order. He was reading my suspension, and I had to invoke Order 10, which is an order of privilege, which meant instead of suspending me, if you find me faulty in any area, send me to face the Ethics and Privileges Committee, almost like a panel. That was what I did. I had to invoke that order, which was a right of every senator who felt their rights were being infringed upon. That was what I did. If I had not done that, I would have been suspended on the floor. So I had to say that to prevent the suspension at that point. But I'm aware that there are still plans on the way to suspend me. And if I'm suspended,
don't worry.
it's okay.
Distinguished Senator Natasha.
Yes, sir.
The whole world is watching now.
Thank you.
After
Natasha. Yes, sir.
The whole world is watching.
All right, so we've heard it from distinguished Senator Natasha herself and what her response is. And Ahmed, and by the way, I'm not telling her, say this particular response now for Inside Brekete TV with Ahmed Musa 9 Ibise did she respond in call her live for Inside the Show, and she respond, can't give her own side of the story. In fact, he also tried to call the Senate president. He called her once. The thing ring, he pick. When they tell her, say, na me be this, and you there here.
That's right.
In court. He can't call her like 2 more times. He no agree, pick again, and all that. But then also, the Senate, while reacting to this through one of the members of the one of the senators, talk saying Natasha she don't get any right to act the way she acts because of say the thing where she acts, it's just ordinary drama. Say the Senate no be a place where people do content creation. So I for like, in fact, before I even go further, I would like to play that altercation that happened though. But sir, a similar thing happened during Saraki's Senate with the same Senate President Akpabio, because of sitting arrangement again. Right. For those when no say a thing like this happen, make a quickly play and for now as it take happen for inside Saraki Senate with Senate President Godswill Akpabio. And now between him and Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Make you watch her.
Go to your seat. Then when you get your seat, I'll recognize you.
or so until I was led by the sergeant at arms that this is my seat.
I asked the clerk whether he allocated that seat to you. He said he didn't.
He told me he would prefer to sit here. So I said there is no microphone there, but he said he would still prefer to sit there.
If there's been a senator that I've allowed to speak without a microphone, state. That's never happened in this chamber. All we said is there's no microphone where you are. Go to a place where there's one, and you can speak. Now you have the floor. Speak and let us make progress.
I want to apologize to my colleagues if I raised my voice earlier, and to say that until the Senate is well reconstituted and the sitting arrangements well arranged, I want to hold my...
Now, a lot of people don't want to say, for this particular Senate, remember the famous "this is not a club" conversation. When people they say, Akpabio, why go to talk to her like that? Are you insinuating that she's a prostitute before the public and all that? I would like to make you address them, then I'll go ask other questions we go follow. Because I vex where they get only 4 female senators for inside this 10th assembly. Yes. How come none of the 3 women even stand up to their fellow woman to talk about this marginalization, sideline, harassment, and intimidation we should go through? If truly what should they talk not true? But make I take a reaction, sir.
What I feel is it's very simple. This particular Senate or our parliament, Nigeria parliament, is transactional. And also very,
now give me, I give you, or do for me, I do for you.
Right. And very prescriptive. They are so full of themselves. I describe it as Fuji House of Commotion. It's a comedy house. A theater of the,
absurd.
So,
at least they won't be waiting for Godot.
Absolutely. So I only know that things like this did happen during the Shagari time, when one particular Sidi Ali Sirajo, his name, I think it's from Kano State, had an issue of this nature. That was in 1982 or thereabout. But this Akpabio Senate is becoming a laughing stock, to the extent that, talking about sitting arrangements. Now, I was of the opinion that, or I thought that sitting arrangements should be made or done properly, where every senator or every member of the Senate should have or know his or particular seat number that you go and sit down. Even in the parliament, in the UK, you sit them, once you come into the parliament, you know exactly where you are going to sit.
Yes.
And there's decorum. But in this particular situation, Natasha, according to the narration she gave, was that her seat was now moved backwards. I don't know where. I don't know why they had to do that.
She said not just backward, at an angle where
so maybe she has the right to shout out to say that she was being sidelined. Because she's a frontliner. Like you normally said, you rightly said, that just 4 women in the house.
Yes.
And if you want to sideline, her from, coming, forth, so that the cameras can capture her properly, I think that was a disservice to her persona, to her, a person as a case may be. But going beyond this, I want to say with due respect, and Nigerians, I might take a very, obtuse, kind of, view of all these things. Why am I saying this? The passion with which Natasha has fought her rights in the Senate, that her rights must be respected. It is as a senator representing a particular zone, it is as case may be. She even mentioned the issue of Jakuta, etc. The verb, the zeal, the zest.
Yes.
That
she was accurate in her
articulation. I want to see a Natasha that will be so articulate, about the sufferings of the people of the Kogi, zone that she represents. I say this with due respect. And I want to say that the reason why she was sent there, one, is not for her to drag seat or whatever the case may be. If you truly want to represent the people, you can even stand up and address that particular Senate. Even though I'm not supporting what happened to you on the floor of the House about the seat, I want to see a Natasha that will come out and pursue, with zeal and zest, bills, that will better the lot of people from her zone, her senatorial zone, first of all, and Nigeria in general. For instance, Nigeria is passing through a phase, and Nigerians are very, very, very hungry right now. Starvation is more or less like our second skin right now in Nigeria. Hunger has become so palpable that the life of the ordinary Nigerian is nearing asphyxiation.
Ew. That is only they go press and have a chest.
We are in the intensive care unit. And when we need senators of this nature, they should, come out and be passionate and talk about the issue of hunger in the land. I need a Senator Natasha, even though I'm not in support of what happened to her in terms of seat positioning, as the case may be, let her come out in a form, this Viva Voce form, she's come out and shout and let the executive arm of government know that Nigerians are suffering, and she lend her voice, to how they are going to ameliorate the sufferings in the land. For me, what happened yesterday, can she go to court? I doubt, because there's what we call parliamentary immunity. So whatever played out there, the Fuji House of Commotion, they are not serious people. Let me be very frank.
All of them?
All of them.
All
most of them are,
of the
let me say about it. Let me not be unkind or uncharitable to the present bunch of senators we have in the House. They are not serious, or most of them are not serious. Some of them are just there, like I said, they are transactional in nature and very prescriptive also in nature, as the case may be. They are looking at mundane things and slaughtering, serious matters that should, evoke emotions in the House that pertains to the people.
But we they pay them money to do the work now. Why they not go do the work?
That is because Nigerian senators or parliamentarians are the most pampered in the world. We pet them. It has become a house of plutocrats. It has become an oligarchic house. That when you are a member of the parliament, whether in the state or in the national plethora or whatever the case may be, you become a king. You become, a pampered child, an overgrown child. You understand? You become an overgrown child, over-pampered child. Because what you get on a daily basis, monthly basis, far outweighs what the ordinary parliamentarian in the UK gets. The perks of office.
So you may say our senators, their salary.
They receive more than them.
Wait,
they receive more than those.
Even US, because because the time I interview a US House of Representatives.
That's right.
He say that when Obama, now even senator, so Obama could not even afford a house in Washington.
It is true.
Then a shared apartment.
Do you know
so
that?
They don't get the official.
I am telling you.
I said whether they get wardrobe allowance. He said they don't get. They don't get.
Most of them sleep in their offices. To beat accommodation, prices and whatever, because they cannot afford high-rise building, in luxurious, houses in that conurbation in Washington. Some of them sleep in their offices, but no Nigerian lawmaker, you dare not tell him to even take a house that is not befitting, according to them, of their status and position right now. So I look at them. If they want to fight, they fought before. We have seen senators fight in that house. Heads were broken, on the floor of the house.
Mace was stolen.
Mace was stolen. Take it to another state as case may be. So for me, took their mace. For me, it's just a bunch of very unserious people. With due respect to Natasha, I don't know. I feel sorry for you for what happened, in the house. I am not supporting that you should be disrespected. I don't like that disrespect given to you, but I want to say with due respect that now that your voice has been heard very clearly and loudly all over the world, I want you to also maybe tomorrow forget about what has happened and begin to churn out some bills. Even if they gag you, they harangue you, manacle you, come out like the phoenix, with how many lives, you come out and say you must have to talk. If you like silent me, if you like gag me, the way you have said, let us see those bills coming from you. People-oriented bills. Why is our Jakarta still comatose and still, in the particular state?
And that's hard, Senator.
And that's your zone. Why is it that guinea worm is still infecting your people in those areas? Why is it that your zone in Kogi State, there's no good drinking water, etc.? I am not saying you have to provide those things for your people. But if you shout out, people will listen to you. Like Gunter Grass said, your duty there is to shout out so that people, executive will recognize and say, this woman is just there. I want it to be like the parliamentarian, like, Nancy Pelosi. Because of her, feminine, whatever, she was not cowed. She didn't kowtow to anybody at all. She stood on her ground and right, and the purpose why she's there. If you go through the history of the precedent of Nancy Pelosi, you're going to see bills that she churned out that later became acts and laws in the US today that are changing the lives of, the less privileged in America.
So Natasha should also follow that route.
You have to follow that particular route.
All right, so let's move quickly to Osun State. There is a local government election this weekend in Osun State. There's been lots of drama following the local government election that held during Oyetola's twilight of his administration. He won't come off office, he quickly do local government election. Yes. You're familiar with the matter now.
That's right.
And then the APC people, PDP people, because say, no, you don't follow due process, you don't obey the constitution and the OCF, that is the Osun State Electoral Commission law when it be say they do the election. So as he come up office, then go court, then go high court, then go stop the election, then stop, for high court to declare those people when the all APC chairman members illegal. And high court, he declared them. But then the APC now can't go appeal court. Appeal court on February 10th can't upturn waiting high court been do. Remember, say another case been deal. APP also carried the same waka go courts. And courts now don't also throw away all those local government chairmen based on the judgment of APP. But why if they say the APC no agree react to the judgment of APP, now only that of the PDP now they react to? That's one. And secondly, the Attorney General of the Federation don't try to join body. Remember, say 6 people don't die for this case like this. You don't try to put mouth for inside this matter will happen for inside Osun State. And the fracas, as the APC people don't come occupy all the local governments by fire by force, and then be elected members. They need to go anywhere. Even the state that tenure supposed to end anytime soon within this year.
Yeah.
So as it take bill like this, so people don't die. Attorney General come put him and say, make the no hold election. And you know, people are saying, wait, the Attorney General of the Federation, he gets any right to tell a state, not a state governor, will be the chief executive of the state government of the state, make no hold election. Now, one of the questions, because the Osun State Governor, Ademola Adeleke, he don't disobey within the Attorney General talk. He say, come rain, come shine, election must hold. What is special and particular about Osun State that they want to hold, both parties want to hold onto it so much?
You know, Osun State, when APC lost Osun State, they were not happy.
Why were they not happy?
That is the home state of our president, as we were told. We were told.
I like as we talk as we were told.
Yeah, we were
because
told,
there's no official statement by the president, and that's the state.
Okay. They told us that the current president, Bola Tinubu, is from Osun State.
Okay.
And you find out that in Osun State, APC has been at the helm of affairs in terms of winning the elections there. Rauf Aregbesola brought in Oyetola. And they had squabbles and some political, whatever.
He's even left APC for them now.
He left APC for them. So, Osun State has been a state that is a stronghold of the APC, as the case may be. You have people like Iyola Omishore, also.
One time a PDP secretary.
PDP, he's there, So, you have titans, strong men of APC from that particular state. So, that is why you find that when Adeleke won the election, a lot of us knew that things like this was going to happen or were going to happen. Because
but Adeleke even claims that he also won the election in 2018.
That is it. He said allegedly he won the election.
Okay.
But this time around, he was given the time to come and rule. And at the end of the day, you find out that APC have been doing everything possible to make sure that they reclaim Osun State by fire, by force, as normally use the word here in Nigeria here. So I am not surprised, what is happening here. The kind of, push and shove
that is
going on between APC, PDP, or any other political party. But the area of my concern is the area where people people's lives have been lost. You know, about 6 or thereabout.
Yeah, six
for
human
election.
beings.
For election.
Why? It wasn't election, no.
I mean, for a political squabble like this. You know, why should you, or you know, take the blood of somebody? Like Jonathan said that, you know, no Nigerian's blood is worth his ambition. I thought that should be the philosophy that most politicians should uphold in Nigeria, but they're not doing that. So please, those people in Osun State, please avoid anything that will, kind of bring violence and even lead to killings of your fellow people. Because politicians, one way or another, they quarrel today, tomorrow they come together again and they become friends. That is why you see they can cross from APC to PDP, tomorrow from PDP to APC. Those who were quarreling before, yesterday, are now good friends, as the case may be. So they don't have any particular permanent interest. Yeah, I mean, they don't have a permanent friend.
So just permanent
interest that they have. So if you think you're a friend to a politician, you want to kill yourself, or you are just being mistaken. That is for me. I advise you to shun violence by following politicians. Then the one that really tickles my fancy is the issue of the Attorney General. A lot of people must know today that the office of the Attorney General is the only office that is recognized as a minister in our constitution. Yes. Section 150 sub 2 of the 1999 constitution even says that all states of the federation, including Lagos, Rivers, Edo, anywhere, Osun State, that they must do what? Appoint an Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice. It is the only ministerial, position that the Constitution, recognizes.
So the Minister for Petroleum,
all those ones, is a creation
is
the president that can create those ones.
Oh wow!
But the Constitution creates the office of the AG, Fed, and Section 150 sub 2, 1999 Constitution creates the offices also of the AGs of all the 36 states in Nigeria. So it's an office that is constitutional. Now, the functions of the AG is also encapsulated in Section 174 of the 1999 Constitution, which particular, functions are executorial to prosecute, etc., as the case may be, and they can also discontinue actions, in criminal matters, as the case may be. Now, the Supreme Court went further in Ondo State, AG Ondo State versus the AG Federation, to now say that the powers to prosecute, given by Section 174 to discontinue, to do a lot of things under 174 of the Constitution, that the AG Federation has powers all over 36 states of the Federation. It's a Supreme Court judgment.
An appointed official, not elected.
It's a Supreme Court judgment.
But
Attorney General of Ondo State versus Attorney General of the Federation. But that particular authority borders on criminal prosecutions. You understand?
Okay.
In the matter that went to Supreme Court, it was based on criminal prosecution. Whether the AG can prosecute in any of the states and withdraw in any of the states, the Supreme Court judgment, in that particular, case, says that yes, they can do that. But now coming to in this kind of situation we have in Ondo State, do you know the duty? One of the foremost duty or primary duty of the AG and Minister of Justice in Nigeria here is to advise the executive. And I think that what the AG Fed, Lateef Fagbemi, did was not to impose himself.
But was an advice.
It was just an advice. That is, he's saying that I am advising you. You can go ahead to conduct the elections tomorrow. But anybody can go to court and do what void that particular, process or election that you conducted outside of, the particular judgment of the Court of Appeal. Because the Court of Appeal has given verve and vent, to the particular litigants that went to court to say, we are still the local government chairman as recognized today. And that our tenure will expire in October 2025. that will serve about 4 or 5 months, in office by virtue of the, judgment of the Court of Appeal. You understand the point now? And that particular judgment is what Lateef Fagbemi is referring to. He's not trying to impose himself to say that, no, I have said you will not conduct the election tomorrow. No, I don't think so. It was just an adversarial, kind of, advice to the governor that please follow the Constitution. And what the Constitution says is that the Court of Appeal, since they gave that particular judgment to say that those who are eligible, those who are supposed to be in that office, their tenure will expire in October of 2025. Then every authority, by virtue of Section 187, sub 2, must obey that particular judgment of the Court of Appeal. But the government or the government of Osun State can quickly do something and run, and come before that court for stay of execution of that particular judgment that was against them. The judgment did not say they cannot conduct election.
Did the judgment empower the APC members to come back to power?
It says that they have to continue, and that and by virtue of that particular judgment, the tenure will expire in October of this year. You understand the point now? So that is what the AG is saying. It's trying to, say, please, I refer you to the judgment of the Court of Appeal. That this Court of Appeal has given a judgment to say that these people are still in power, legally speaking. They are still the local government chairman.
So that means there's every possibility that any election that is held now may
That's right.
be legal.
That is what the AG is saying. That is what the AG is saying, that because of that judgment of the Court of Appeal, and by by virtue of the fact that Section 287, of the Constitution of Nigeria, what happens is that every judgment of the Court of Appeal, Supreme Court, etc., as case may be, becomes valid, and all authorities in Nigeria must obey that particular judgment. And that authority includes that of the office of the governor, deputy governor, commissioners, chairman of local government. So they ought to obey, that particular judgment by virtue of that particular provision of the Constitution. That is what the AG is telling Osun State Governor. It's not saying don't go ahead to conduct. You cannot come in there and roll out machines to say you cannot conduct the election.
But why is the APC not also appealing or speaking to the judgment by the APP that also threw them away? Because as long as they didn't react to that judgment also stands. Or should it not stand?
For them, what favors them? Politics in Nigeria is local.
So can the PDP not use that judgment that did not favor them against them?
And that is what we are asking them. You can go to court. The court should be the arena where all these things should be dissipated and adjudicated upon. But in this case now, what is happening now is that the AG coming in to say, he didn't say, look, I am authorizing you not to, conduct the election tomorrow, which is Saturday. But he's saying that, please, I'm just drawing your ear to know that there is a valid court judgment, and it's not just an ordinary court, it's the Court of Appeal that has said that these people are supposed to continue in office until the Supreme Court or a higher court of that instance set that particular judgment aside. And once that is done, it means that their tenure will expire in October. But if you want to go and conduct election tomorrow, anybody can go to court and void that particular election of tomorrow, because you have wasted people's resources and time, and maybe lives may have been lost tomorrow, because there are those who are going to come out tomorrow now to say, no, we are not going to participate in that election because we have a valid court judgment of the Court of Appeal, in Nigeria.
Yes.
So why conduct? They might want to, take laws into their hands to go and prevent, people, from going out to go and vote tomorrow. That is what the AG is. I think what the AG did, in my own opinion, is proactive. That is the office of the AG can do advice on legal matters of this nature, but it cannot enforce it, with his powers, as the case may be.
All right, thank you so much. See, that's why I wanted to have you here, because I know that you help us bring the legal perspective to all this conversation.
Thank you very much.
But let's speak quickly to, if you'd like to react to what the former head of state, IBB, said about his book. He did speak to a couple of things. He spoke about on the June 12 election, and the fact that it was indeed a free election, and that indeed there was a winner, and it was MKO Abiola. and that nullifying the election or contributing to it is one of the most difficult things he's had to do in his life. He also did say something critical. I know you understand that over time, the 1966 coup has always been referred to as the Igbo coup.
Yeah.
So he did say something about it, where he did say that the 1966 coup is not an Igbo coup. That though there is a Kaduna Nzogu who may have spearheaded the coup, but that Kaduna Nzogu is as much as an Hausa as any other Hausa man, because he was born and bred up in Kaduna as an Hausa man, even though he was born of a now Delta State parents, that he's an Hausa man. And that there were also people, apart from other Igbo officers, there were top Igbo ranking officers and non-Igbo ranking officers from Yoruba and other tribes that contributed in that coup. So why do we call it an Igbo coup? I'd like you to react to that.
You see, Abraham Lincoln, once said that a statesman is he that is politically dead. A statesman is he that is politically dead. IBB ought to be a statesman, but today, very few people and those who are his supporters call him a statesman. When late Edwin Clark, Pa Adebanjo, they died recently. All of us came and said, these are statesmen.
Yes.
Because they were politically dead. They were not playing politics. The question I want to ask is this. Why should IBB begin to play politics with 1960, whatever coup it is? 66 coup. Many Nigerians have even forgotten that even though it is embedded in our consciousness, a lot of emotions are evoked when you mention that 1966 coup and the 1967 pogrom that followed. A lot of people consciously, even as I'm sitting down here, I feel very emotional because I know I lost uncles, in that particular coup and the coup and the war. Let me tell you, IBB was the president of Nigeria from 1985 to 1993. I will tell you Nigerians today that me sitting down here as old as I am, that I was not up to 30 years when IBB annulled that election in 1993. In 1993, that was the year I left the Nigerian Law School. And today I say I celebrate my 32 years post-call. 32 years post-call. A child that was born in 1993 today, if care is not taken, he might be a grandfather by now. And the question I'm asking, why did IBB wait
for this long?
For this long, if it's not playing politics? Why did IBB? It's like Chinua Achebe in his book, Things Fall Apart, said that the story of the hunter will always pervade the air because the lion does not have who will tell his own story in the jungle, Okovango, and the Serengeti. Abacha is late. Nobody to say his story, corroborate, discountenance what IBB has said. He didn't do that. Ikomo, who was also part of that design, is late. Humphrey Nwosu, he is dead. In fact, I listed number of people
just died not so long ago.
Yes, and I listed many people who died between 1993 till now. Ikpeme, the other Saleh.
Yes, Ikpeme.
There were about 9 people. Professor Omoruyi would have come as also. Omoruyi was a father figure to me in Abuja during the time IBB is talking about. Why did he wait? The Abiola family today, if Abiola had not died, if Abiola had not lost his life, Abiola's businesses would have still been alive today. And I believe that MK Abiola, even though he was denied the presidency, if they had allowed it, the nature given to God, they would see their life today. And and many younger ones who were there. Many of us gained from the scholarship of Abiola in those days. But by virtue of politics played inside the iron curtain Aso Rock, he lost his life. Kudira, the wife, died in the struggle. And you are now coming out to say that he won. I listened to IBB's speech as a young activist as at that time. I was just leaving law school in Lagos here. I participated in that June 12th, struggle as at that time as a young lawyer and activist. I went to Abiola's house. Sowore was also a leader. Nojin Mayegu was a leader. Ogaga Ifowodo. I'm mentioning these names of people who struggled, to make sure that June 12th was restored. IBB unequivocally said that the election was annulled by whatever the cabal. He did not tell us why as at that time. He's not coming out to tell us after these people are dead. So how do we not corroborate his story? IBB became a debacle in Nigeria political history. Many of those who respect him, you are free to respect him. You are free to call him a statesman. But for me, that particular, whatever I did yesterday, and to the point that they raised about 19 billion or 20 billion in a state of malfeasance, in a state of debauchery, and in a state of starvation, where Nigerians agglutinating, just like the time, the hands of the seconds. TikTok, what will I eat the next 1 hour? But within 30 minutes, the sum of billions or whatever raised for his book launch.
But does IBB really need that money? How about donating to the families of those who
donated? That is going to tell you why Nigeria will be a country that people are going to suffer for a very long time.
Oh.
Based on the fiasco of leadership that we have in Nigeria today. Now, going back to, what he did yesterday, the sermonization. IBB is a sophist. And when I mean sophist, who is a sophist? A sophist is he who dwells in sophistry, using false arguments to establish false foundation. Clever argument. That is why they call him Maradona, because he was using consciously very smart and clever argument. Like he brought in this particular 1966 school of what happened, trying to explain. That was a smart one to establish very false foundation. And leaders of this cadre and stock, Nigeria do not need them again. IBB in a country that is not lobotomized, in a country that is not in succession of bad leadership like we have in Nigeria, IBB ought to be questioned by now.
Should he have been apprehended or perhaps locked
up? Not even apprehending him. You bring him before a panel and say, explain to us exactly how did Abacha, how did your people you work together in cahoots, did this dastardly act covertly, overtly, intuitively, wickedly, that to the extent that blood flowed, many Nigerians lost their lives. I remember vividly that in the course of the struggle to restore June 12th, along the Echo Bridge, we saw policemen, soldier men shooting at protesters, as they called them, because they were saying that Abiola won the election, and the election, Abiola should become the president of Nigeria. The freest, IBB described the election as the freest and fairest election in Nigeria. And there's no election in Nigeria today that has been as free and fair and credible
Okay, so speaking about free and fair election and credibility,
like that of the June 12th.
Yes, I was going to say that Peter Obi just did also mention, speaking to that, he says that he does hope now that the IBB has come out to speak about the success and the free and fairness of the June 12 election, that he also does hope that other people who had won, other elections but were cheated by the structures in place should also be recognized to be, the real winners of those elections. Do you think he was speaking to anything in particular? And do you think that is possible?
He was speaking to the last general election.
What do you think that he should be really won the general election?
My own opinion, and I participated in the elections vividly, and I voted for him. I voted for Peter Obi. If you ask me that question directly, my opinion is that he won the election. But the powers that be, just like what happened in the June 12 era, knew why he couldn't come in there. Maybe in the next 40 years from now, one person will rise up and say, like IBB is saying today, and declaring that it was this man that made me not to allow MKO to become president of Nigeria. Maybe 40 years from today, somebody will come and tell us that 2023 election, this is what happened, why a certain Peter Obi was not president of Nigeria. Because we love histories, backdated history. That's what we love politically in Nigeria here. So that is the problem we are having. So Peter Obi he's speaking to his mandate. Peter Obi was popular. Peter Obi was a phenomenon. Peter Obi was an avatar. Peter Obi was a coalescer. Peter Obi was, a catalyst that woke up dry bones. I remember that after June 12th election, because I participated in that election, that was the first election I voted in my life. June 12th. That was the first election I voted in my life. I was in Lagos. The second election I voted is the 2023 election, because the other elections are factical and fast. Fastidious, as the case may be. I voted in the last election. And during that June 12th, you will see old people, you see blind people were being led to polling units to go and vote for MKO Abiola. When you ask them a question, they say, no, this man is a pan-Nigerian man. Christians, Muslims, atheists, teetotalers, drunkard people came out and said, we want to vote for this man. And they voted for MKO Abiola. The same thing translated in 2023. Old people, blind people, those who were on their sick beds were crying that they want to vote because people came into the race and they saw a narrative. I saw a reason and I saw cause to shed tears when I saw an old man on national television went to Peter Obi and said, rescue Nigeria and let it be my time. Now, what has happened? That the popular people do not win, which means Nigeria has a mantra, a very diabolic and negatively, resilient mantra that has not been exorcised. Awolowo said it in 1978, that in Nigeria, the most popular candidates do not win elections.
Hell!
A candidate is popular, yes. Awolowo in 1977 was popular. MKO in 1993 was popular and accepted by the people, cutting all through all religious lines. He didn't win. Peter Obi, popular for the first time, because I was in the Labour Party in my state and I participated in everything. Nigerians in diaspora for the first time were sending money back home to say we want this particular person to become president.
And a lot of them traveled from
I still have today.
They could not even participate.
The person, let me say, I have those on camera today. I will not call the lady's name, but she knows me if she's watching this. This woman stood by me in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, during the presidential election. We were part of the polling agents for Labour Party. We didn't collect a dime. The woman came all the way from United States of America. He said, I am here because I want to vote for Peter Obi and I want Nigeria to move forward. He came for hours on ends. She was spending her money to buy water, buy things for people around there, those of us who were doing free service for Nigeria to be okay. So when P2B is speaking from the heart. And he has just evoked, that particular emotional feelings I had, when he lost that particular election. But, well, let us leave things the way it is right now for Nigeria to move forward. After all, they have said, even Mahatma Gandhi said, the most disastrous peace is better than a just war. Let us not begin to say we want to unearthing, like what Babangida is doing did yesterday. Well, it has happened, But we hope, like he said, that a day will come that people will recognize those who won elections before. And I know that it's going to be...
Thank you, sir. In 2 minutes, because we're almost done with this conversation, in 2 minutes, can you speak to Nnamdi Kanu's situation where his lead counsel, Aloy Jimako, had complained the day before yesterday that he's been again denied access to his family and his lawyers? Remember that repeated what happened repeatedly last year. Again, it's happening again. They're denying him that. But just today, they eventually allowed him access to his lawyers. What could be, what's, is this, first of all, is this constitutional? I'd like you to speak, in terms of the place of the Constitution concerning this situation.
You see, it is clear that even the blind could see and the deaf could hear that the detention, unlawful, let me use the word, unlawful detention of Nnamdi Kanu is politically motivated, if not sectionally motivated or based on ethnicity. I don't want to incite. I don't want to, but the truth must be said. I prefer to die in the altars of truth than to die in the luxuriant embrace of denial and liars.
So about 800 Boko Haram members have been given a message right now.
Now, let me tell you. The fulcrum on which, every prosecutorial criminal, trial stands is Section 36 of 5 of the 1999 Constitution. The Supreme Court has affirmed this in litany convoys of decided cases. One is that presumption of innocence until the contrary is proven. The Supreme Court has also made it very clear that because we are facing trial does not mean that you should be treated as a convict. They are treating Nnamdi Kanu as a convict.
Even without convicting him?
Even without convicting him.
Ew.
Because what I'm saying, if presumption of innocence is guaranteed in the Constitution, why manacle him? Why deny him medical, whatever? Why deny him access to, his lawyers, etc.
Why did they even keep him in DSS?
Why did they keep him in DSS Correctional Center? The African Charter on Human Rights is against what they are doing to Nnamdi Kanu. All international treaties that has to do with extradition and rendition of politically motivated, suspects have been broken by Nigeria in the case of Nnamdi Kanu.
So why is nobody speaking out? No international.
The reason is because the Nigerian masses and people have been held bound in what I describe as the Stockholm Syndrome. And the Stockholm Syndrome is this. Those armed robbers who are buccaneers, your oppressors, and those people who have kept you, stunted your growth, have kept you, you don't even have a say. You want to drink water, you begin to get scared. Should I take permission before I drink the water? You'll be held bound by the system in a debilitating manner and fashion.
And you even love your oppressors.
And you love your oppressors. That is what is happening. And that is why you see that people have written, like Dante Alighieri, if you look at it, read their thesis, read their whatever, you find that Nigeria is not far also from, Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. Nigeria is not so far from the postulations of Thomas Hobbes that says, life is nasty, brutish, and what? Very short. Nigeria is a typical example, modern day example. Nigeria is the only country in Africa I've seen, apart from South Africa in those days, Does he have political prisoners like Nnamdi Kanu? I call it say political prisoner because they have abducted him, they kidnapped him, and kept him there to be looking at his face and say, you must repent. If you don't repent, you're going to do this. That is what they are doing to him. Nigeria is the only country. I say it very clearly. And I say this. It's a big bone that has, is on the throat and the pharynx of the Nigerian government. The best thing you have to do, I want Nigeria to learn from the Turkish example of a similar thing, because Abdallah Öcalan is the name of that Turkish PKK rebel that was arrested from the same Kenya that they abducted Öcalan, was where Nigeria abducted Nnamdi Kanu.
Kenya must be notorious.
They kidnapped back to Nigeria here. As the case may be, but Bello Tuji, that has been disturbing, killing, maiming, spilling blood in Nigeria here, even say that he wants to, that Nigeria is not the country. He is still in the forest in Sokoto, Kebbi, parading a
He just put in 25 billion naira fine on villages.
The government is not, that is not people use the people, the government is nothing about it. And you are keeping a man, in fact, Court of Appeal told not go. There's a reason for that. And they said, you cannot send soldiers to a man's premises and you expect him to wait. He will run away. You did that, and based on that, you said he jumped bail. Which bail? He did jump.
Thank you, Barrister.
It's an emotional decision, but I always, when I talk about this, I always want to say things the way they are. Chapter 4, is it section 35 of 5? Is it 34, 36 of 5, or the 1999 Constitution has all been breached when it comes to the issue of Nnamdi Kanu.
Oh, that is, they don't scatter it. They don't talk Constitution.
That is it. They don't care. They want to keep him there. And I pray, I just pray that nothing happens to him. One day, reason will prevail over stupidity and force of government and governance.
Thank you so much, Barrister Asim Adams. I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nigerians, you have learned a lot. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll have time to take your calls and reactions anymore. We'll have to run along. My head is full from the responses that Oga has given to us too much. So that's why we'll have to be doing this from time to time, sir. I'll come and be disturbing you.
No.
We should be coming live for
Nigeria
and be educating Nigerians. Let's know what our rights
I work for the masses, not for the bourgeoisies, not for the plutocrats. I don't have time for them.
Thank you.
For the masses only, yes.
Thank you. So if this is your first time joining us, please click on the subscription button or you're subscribed now. Follow us like your village people so that you know exactly what's happening. I see some calls coming in. Unfortunately, my time is fast spent. I don't think I can take those calls. I wonder if I can. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello, good evening. Are you there? Welcome. Sir, welcome, sir. Very quickly, what's your name? Where are you calling from? If you can just jump in on the conversation. Sir? Evening, sir.
Yeah, I was thinking the program is over. I thought you say you're not taking any call. Oh, okay. This is Kerry from Switzerland.
Kerry, it's been a long time. How are you? Welcome. Go ahead, Kerry.
Yeah.
Hello? Okay, it's either network or our village people. We don't want us to hear from Kerry. Hello, Kerry. Are you there? Can you hear us? Unfortunately, network is really bad, but I appreciate all of you for joining in the conversation, and thank you so much once more. So I appreciate you. All right, guys, we'll see you again tomorrow evening, God willing. Thank you so much, and continue to push together. See, the countries that got it right did not wait for one Messiah to come and get it right for them. They all fought together for the betterment of the country that they enjoy today. We all can join our hands and voices to fight for the good of this nation, so that one day have that Nigeria of our dream. I'll see you next time. Thank you, and God bless you. All right.